Good evening, family. It's your brother straight out of Judah, coming at you with another installment of the Wisdom Series, Day 13. Tonight will be a shorter one because we finished the book of Ecclesiastes last night. It only had 12 chapters. So, as you know, 31 days, I'll be reading to you 31. I'll be reading for 31 days straight wisdom. So, uh, tonight you will get Proverbs 13, Wisdom of Solomon 13, and Sirach chapter 13. And family, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Proverbs chapter 13. A wise son accepts his father's discipline, but a scoffer shall not listen to rebuke. From the fruit of the mouth a man eats the good, but the desire of the treacherous is for violence. He who watches over his mouth guards his being, but he who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. The being of the lazy one craves but has not, while the being of the hard workers are enriched. A righteous one hates a lying word, but a wrong man is loathsome and comes to shame. Righteousness watches over him who is perfect in the way, but wrongness overthrows the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has none at all, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wrong is put out. By pride comes strife, but wisdom is with those who take advice. Wealth from vanity diminishes, but he who gathers by hand increases. Expectancy drawn out makes the heart sick, but a longing come true is a tree of life. He who despises the word is destroyed, but he who fears the command is rewarded. The Torah of the wise is a fountain of life, turning one away from the snares of death. Good understanding gains favor, but the way of the treacherous is hard. Every one with insight acts with knowledge, but a fool spreads folly. A messenger that is wrong falls into evil, but a trustworthy envoy is a healing. Poverty and shame are for him who ignores discipline, but he who heeds reproof is esteemed. A desire accomplished is sweet to the being, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to fools. He who walks with the wise shall be wise, but the companion of fools suffers evil. Evil pursues sinners, but good is repaid to the righteous. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Much food is in the tillable ground of the poor, but lack of right ruling sweeps it away. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him seeks him with discipline. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his being, but the stomach of the wrong is lacking. That was Proverbs chapter 13, verses 1 through 25. All right, now if you will, turn with me or just sit there and listen and allow me to read to you, whichever, to the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13. From the top. Surely, vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of Elohim, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him, that is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven to be their gods, which govern the world, with whose beauty, if they, being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the master of them is. For the first author of beauty hath created them. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made him. For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably, the maker of them is seen. But yet, for this they are less to be blamed, for they are peradventure ere seeking Elohim, and desirous to find him. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently and believe their sight, because these things are beautiful that are seen. Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned. For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out Yahuwah thereof? But miserable are they, and dead in things is their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of man's hands, gold and silver, to shew art in, and resemblances of beast, or stone good for nothing, or a stone good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand. Now a carpenter that fell of timber, after he had sawn down a tree, meet for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about, and hath wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof fit for the service of a man's life, after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, hath filled himself, and taken the very refuse among those which served to no use, being a crooked piece of wood, and full of knots, have carved it diligently when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it to the image of a man, or made it like some vile beast, laying it over with a vermilion, and with paint coloring it red, and covering every spot therein. And when he hath made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall, and made it fast with iron. For he provided for it, that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself. For if it is an image, and hath need of help, then maketh he prayer. For his gods. That's terrible. For his wife and children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which hath no life. For health he call upon that which is weak. For life he prayeth to which that is dead. For aid humbly beseech that which hath least means to help. And for a good journey he asked of that which cannot set foot forward. And for gaining and getting, and for good success of his hands, asketh ability to do with him that is most unable to do anything. That was Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verses 1 through 19. Pardon my word salad, family. The word diligently sounds funny when I say it, and wasn't coming out right. Once again, my apologies. All right, the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, from the top. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Read that again. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Burden not thyself above thy power while thou live, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself. For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together? For if one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threatened withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair, and say, What wantest thou? And he will shame thee by his meats, until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee, and shake his head at thee. Beware that thou not be deceived and brought down in thy jollity. If thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more will he invite thee. Press not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not far off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication he will tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and put thee in prison. Observe, take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Love Yahuwah all thy life, and call upon him for salvation. Every beast loveth his like, every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. All right. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud hate humility, so does the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely, and could not have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man hold his tongue, and look what he saith. Thy extol it to the clouds. But if thy poor man speak, they say, What fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Riches are good unto him that hath no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. The heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil. And a merry heart maketh a cheery countenance. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity. And the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. Ooh, that was deep right there. Oh, almost chopped my page off. Family, I greatly appreciate you all for allowing me to read to you chapters 13 of Sirach, verses 1 through 20. What's that? 26. I thank you for allowing me to read to y'all tonight again. I'm low-key tired. I got to start doing these early in the day because around this time I'll be like tired, wanting to go to sleep. The flesh wants me to go to sleep and not read, but I don't give in to the flesh. I still read. So no matter how late it is, I'm gonna read. Flesh just wants me to sit there and scroll on Instagram or scroll through YouTube. Nah, I gotta read. I got work to do. We got work to do. So, family, if you feel times you feel like you're distracted and want to get pulled away by something else, don't. Be strong. Buffet that flesh. Buffet that flesh. Kill it. And scourge. Yeah, scourge that want to not read or that want not to get into this word and study or pray. You got to scourge it because that's the flesh. And we know our spirit it needs to be stronger. Our flesh is weak. It's going to want to do something we ought not be doing. And that voice in your head saying, hey, you should go read, or hey, you should go pray, or hey, you should go do this. You know, it's never nothing loud. It's always, like the words say, a small, still voice. Go read, go do this. So don't disobey it. Just do it. But I definitely will be trying to come at y'all earlier. I might even, because I'm able to now, do a live stream and see how that works. So stay tuned, and I'll be back, most high willing, tomorrow with day 14 of this wisdom series. So family, good night. I love y'all. Peace.